Hello, everyone. I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing the end of two shows, the announcement of another, and some shit I might have forgotten about last week because I was very annoyed. Before all that, though, Buster, how you doing?
I hope I'm not underwater, because for one of the most important episodes of TWIT, I sounded like I was underwater. And I really hated my audio in that episode. Which,
I still don't think your audio was that bad, but, like, I'll admit it wasn't as good as it usually is, but
yeah,
nobody complained about it, and that was, like, our highest viewed TWIT episode in months, so whatever.
Well, I care, because I like high-quality products sometimes.
I didn't know I was podcasting with Tim Ziaman tonight.
Well, that's Aruto's line. It's high quality.
Oh, it is. I thought Fowler's Belt said that for some reason.
Well, I mean, Bowser did invent the metal cluster hopper key.
Oh, yeah, so it's like a mind association. I was doing a fucking 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon there. Wow.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Things are very hectic in my life now, and I'm coming up on gotta formulate a bunch of videos that I wasn't thinking I was gonna have to do next month real quick over the next week. And oh yeah, back to school is at the end of next month, so my work is starting to ramp up more and more over the last couple of weeks and into this week, and a lot of shit going on. But also, I found a toy that I always wanted when I was a kid for a good price at the local vintage store today. So winning.
Hooray! Yeah, like actually a little peek behind the curtain. We almost didn't do this episode with how busy Vac has been.
Yeah, but I wanted to make it happen. I wanted to bring the people the podcast that they care about the most from Modular Media. But speaking of which, last week was not the last change you're going to see to This Week in Toku going forward, because we discussed it with how last week went and whatnot, and we're just going to start only discussing the week. We're leaving the chaff behind as far as our news segment goes. We're not going to discuss every little merch announcement or every little, leak of a tiny, blurred, pixelated product scan. From now on, we're just going to discuss, the big things that catch our eye throughout the week. So we only really have 3 news stories this week, but one of them is a cluster of announcements that all came within the last couple of weeks. And it's probably going to be that way from now on. There might be weeks where we have 20 news stories again, if Toei ever announces a bunch of 50th anniversary projects for something again. We'll probably have to talk about all that. But right now, we're going to keep it to just the talk of the town of the tokusatsu community from the last week, rather than this tiny little thing happened and this tiny little thing happened. Basically, what I'm saying here is we're not going to have a segment like This Week in Godzilla Tat ever again, hopefully.
Yeah. Rest in hell.
Yeah. But you know what's not resting in hell? Our engagement with the algorithm, because people are being good to us right now, and we appreciate it. So please continue your support of Modular Media by liking this podcast, commenting down below with some of your thoughts on stuff that happened this week in Tokusatsu. Don't forget to subscribe for future episodes and all the other episodes we do here on Modular Media of podcasts and things. You're going to want to ring that bell so you get notifications as well. And you can follow us on social media. Whatever social media still exists by the time this comes out, because we're in the middle of Twitter transitioning into X, and I'm not sure if the website will genuinely survive. But we still have a Tumblr at Modular Media, a TikTok at Modular Media, and we'll be plugging our individual social medias at the end of the podcast. So stick around for that if you want to know where to see us talk about shit. Hey, let's talk about some shit, because there's news!
Hooray!
First up, there have been a bunch of new SH Figuarts announcements over the last couple of weeks, some of which I meant to talk about last week and missed, but we're actually gonna get to that one last, because I put these in order of what media came out first, because that's how my OCD brain works sometimes. But first of all, SH Figuarts Alien Metron from the Marked Town is coming, and it looks really, really good. I have loved SH Figuarts' takes on old Ultraman kaiju. I haven't gotten any of them yet, but they always look so good, and they make me wonder, like, is there legitimately a different engineering team between Figuarts and Monster Arts? Because these always look better than any SH Monster Arts to me. It might just be the more simplistic suit designs, but they always seem like more cohesive photogenic figures than the Monster Arts do. But Buster, you've actually seen the show this is from. Do you have any thoughts on this?
It looks cool. Honestly, I associate this more of Trigger because of the alien species one of the characters is in the show. But yeah, it was a cool episode, and I like Ultra so.
Yeah. How much you want to bet we're going to get a re-release of that's that character and they just like give it a jacket?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, like Trigger collectors, that did series, despite our feelings, did financially well, so why not? You know?
Yeah. But that's not all Ultraman wise, because they also announced a new SH Figuarts Juggless Juggler that is basically the same as the Zet version, but now there's unmasked heads, because remember, he didn't have his helmet in like 2 scenes.
Yeah. No, I think you meant the Orb version, because this is like this version's based on Ultraman Zet, while I think the last one was based on Ultraman Orb.
No, there was a Zet release that came out just after Zet.
Oh, okay.
So this is technically the 3rd release of this Figuart, and it's just got 2 new alternate heads, one of which is like a calm head and one of which is screaming. They do look a lot like the actor, more so than I usually see from Figuarts, so I'm impressed with it in that regards. I still haven't picked up a Juggler, and now that I actually have a Zet, I am kind of tempted to get this release, but it's also a web exclusive, so it's going to be stupid expensive and probably not going to happen anytime soon. But if you really need your unmasked Juggler faces, or I just realized it is just off enough from the actual actor, you could put some white paint on that hair and have this be an unmasked freaking Kamen Rider Duke head.
Why would you want to comment on a Duke head? That actor sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that popped into my head, but that exists for the people who want it. And speaking of things that exist, they also announced some Amazon exclusive re-release of the Shin Kamen Rider SH Figuarts. They're re-releasing Rider 1 and the Cyclone in Amazon exclusive packaging. Basically the same as everything we've gotten before, just different boxes. And they are releasing a updated version of Rider 1+2, which is the suit from the end of the movie, with an unmasked Ichimonji head, which looks about as good as the Hongo head, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just wish there was like an alternate head for like smiling or something, because you know that's a very expressive character, and this is kind of a bit blank, you know.
Yeah, it's like, it is supposed to be very specifically that end scene, so I could see it being like, he was a tad more stoic in that scene, but I do think he also smiled at one point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to rewatch the movie yet. It is out on Amazon Prime now, and by all accounts, it's a good release. So I might have cat-sided that, and I'm planning to get to it whenever I can get a spare couple hours. But now we arrive at the final SH Figuarts announcement, which we should have discussed last week, because this is the only one that we had last week. SH Monster Arts is doing Godzilla -1 Godzilla. They already have this up for pre-order. Really cool that they got this done so quick, because it is an entirely new sculpt, and I'm never like the biggest fan of Monster Arts, because I feel like for the amount of joints they put in there, they always like upset the look just a bit too much for my taste, and they never have the range you expect them to have. But I know there's a lot of people who are really into this line, because it is still the most articulated with the most character depth Godzilla toy line. So for those of you who are SH Monster Arts hardcores, this looks like a fairly solid Monster Arts release. Go and get it if you're excited for the new movie.
Yeah. And it comes out on the day of the new movie.
Yeah, that's some good planning. You don't usually see that from toy companies. But something else you don't usually see is what 20-year-old show getting a new form. Um,
25. All right.
25-year-old show getting a new form. Buster, do you want to explain this?
All right. Okay. So this isn't the first time Gaia has had a stage show form. So basically, Ultraman Gaia celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. But now, previously for the 20th anniversary, they had a stage show exclusive form for the secondary Ultra Agul Supreme, because in Gaia, Gaia gets a Supreme form when Agul basically gives up for a while. And just gives his powers, being like, humanity sucks. You just do whatever you want, Gaia. That's a really good arc in the show. Um, but so yeah, Gaia gets Supreme form. So in the freaking with Agul's power, but in the what's it called stage show, Agul got Supreme form, and now in another stage show 5 years later, like Gaia gets a Super Supreme form.
I haven't seen Supreme form, or at least I don't remember seeing it and being told it's Supreme form. So I don't know how different this is. This form looks aggressively okay, visually speaking. I don't know. It's not just this is fairly good Ultra form. Not a lot going on. And I don't know. Is that friggin' Glitter Trigger Eternity's helmet? I can't tell. I can't tell if that's what's going on there. If that helmet is actually from Gaia.
I just shared a picture of Supreme form with.
Okay, so that is the helmet from that
Gaia.
old suit.
Yeah, it just updated a bit. Like people have like been like saying like, "Whoa, this is like this kind of looks like Trigger Decker, like kind of like that kind of design." And I'm like, I can see it fitting in with those characters, but like it's still Gaia. It's
Yeah,
just,
he's got like some chest crusties like Decker had, but he's also got like weird vents in his red bits.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I will probably see this in the next Galaxy fight, or Gaia 25th anniversary special if they want to do that.
Yeah, it looks all right. I don't know. I'm not super enthused by it, but it was something every Ultraman fan I know was talking about this last week, so I figured we'd cover it as a nice little palate cleanser before getting into the big thing.
Oh wait, I just want to mention that happened while I was watching Ultraman Gaia. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that on Twitter. But the big thing. We have had the official announcement from Toei of Kamen Rider Gotchard. They put out the poster and they announced a bunch of plot details and the staff that's working on it. So the plot details we have as of now, the main character's name is Hatoro Ichose. The main form is called Steam Hopper. There are 101 monster cards formed from something called Chemis. The card game based around these cards is called Rider Chemi. Hatoro is a high school student and alchemist. Tesaki Ryotaro is directing.
Saki Ryuta.
I'm sorry. Butsada on special effects. And that's getting into production stuff, which takes us to the fact that the show is being written by Keiichi Hasegawa, which Rider fans will know from the okay bits of Kamen Rider Ghost and most of Kamen Rider Saber, and Ultra fans know as writing shows like Max.
Well, not just Max, Nexus, he wrote Dyna, he wrote episodes of all the Heisei shows, and recently, he wrote the Gridman animes.
Yeah. Dude's been around the block. He's not written anything I've seen and liked, but that doesn't mean he can't cook. So yeah. I'm like cautiously optimistic about this show. Emphasis on the cautiously this time around, because we've talked before. I don't love Gotchard's main suits. I rarely enjoy high school shows to the fullest. Like, I don't know. So, like, the whole, like, premise and everything, it seems very odd. It seems like this is one of those writer seasons that it's going to be a bit hard for me to get my head around. But if it's written well, it's Kamen Rider. I will get into it eventually well.
Also, correction, he never wrote anything for Max. I don't know where you got that info from, man.
I swear, somebody was saying that on Twitter.
It was probably Mebius. Probably. No,
Oh,
those shows are very close together and have similar names. So
yeah.
I mean, he did write episodes of Double, Fours, and Drive, which you like Double and Drive. So
That's true. I forgot he had written for Drive.
yeah, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I'm personally very excited because the man has head wrote some of my favorite Ultra seasons, like Nexus, Dyna is not actually mostly Nexus. I'm really excited, but he also head wrote Ginga, the first season, which I really liked, and I love the Gridman animes, and I love Saber. So I'm very excited to see what he's gonna do because basically Hasegawa's kind of been like with Ghost and Saber, Takuro kind of just left halfway through. And Hasegawa's had basically have to man the fort. So I'm glad Toei realized, hey, why isn't he not? Why hasn't he had written any Kamen Rider? He's wrote a lot of seasons just as regular episodes. Just make him the head writer and let him cook. And I'm glad they're not. I'm very excited for Gotchard, honestly. Like everything's heading for me. Also, there's a secondary writer, which is very odd that they also announced a secondary writer at this, not writer for Gotchard, writer, like writing the show. A second person. They also announced a second person writing the show, which they don't normally announce at the beginning of these shows, which is interesting, you know.
hmm it should also be noted because I almost skipped over him. Hirofumi Fukazawa is going to be the action director for this show, and if you don't know that name, you really should because he's been suit acting since Live Man, and he's directed a lot of Super Sentai shows and a few Kamen Riders. So this guy really knows his shit. We're in good hands as far as the action is concerned.
Oh yeah, this guy suit acted Gokai Red in the original Gokaiger run.
Yeah, and he was action director for Go Busters, Kyoryuger, Tokyuger, Ninninger, Ju-Oger, Q-Ranger, Lupin Ranger vs. Pataranger, Ryu Soldier, Kira Major, Zenkaiger, and Dawn Brothers. So
Yeah.
he's basically worked on Sentai uninterrupted for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it seems like they're gonna go for more lighthearted fare. And like Ryuta, you know what Ryuta Takase just got off? Dawn Brothers. So
Yeah.
they're going for a very youthful energy here.
They're pulling in people who have worked on good stuff, and they're trying to go for something a little different and a little lighter, which I think is a good move coming off of Geats, because Geats was pretty different, but it was also a very heavy show, and as such, I think it was probably a general success with older audiences, but I've never seen anything particularly on how well Geats is doing with kids. Like, I know Taka's kid likes it, but Taka's kid isn't every little Hiroshi in Japan combined.
Yeah. Also, like, we're going back to collectible monster. There's like, this feels like the Roid Mute setup from Drive with 101 card monsters collect.
Yeah,
so
you know we're not going to see all of those in the show. There's going to be like a
specials,
montage at some
movies.
point.
No, or just they do with the Drive thing where it's like specials and movies that like have the other things.
As long as they do actually do the Drive thing, because Drive, they actually got all of the Roid Mutes on screen. If we actually get all of them on screen and you see their numbers and whatnot, I'll be pretty into that.
Yeah, I hope this isn't just a first arc thing and just like they let it breathe through the show. So. Also, there's a card game. Very interesting.
The cards do actually have a game based around them, which leads me to believe they'll be in some way, shape, or form involved with every toy for the show, and it lends credence to the rumor that was going around for a while there of Toei's going to be selling booster packs of cards instead of like the traditional pay 10 or 15 bucks for one gimmick item kind of thing, which could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested in Gotchard. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. Whether or not it lives up to it is yet to be seen, obviously. And there are like certain things that I'm like, I kind of have pause over that. Like, I tend to have a hard time getting into high school seasons. Like, the only high school seasons of Tokusatsu I've seen that I really like are Power Rangers Dino Thunder and frickin'
Mega Ranger?
I like Mega Ranger. I don't love Mega Ranger. I thought there was another one I'd seen that I really liked, but I can't. Oh, High School Heroes.
Yeah. That we were like constantly gassing that one up.
Yeah. So those are like the good ones, but every other high school show I've seen, I've always been pretty meh on. And before anybody leaves a comment, although do leave comments, I haven't seen Forze. It's on the list.
But you know what we have seen? These new releases.
Yeah, Buster, that's all the news that's fit to print, so take us on to the new releases.
Guys, guess what finally got subbed again? Dogengers Metropolis. Episode 5, Property Damage, finally got subbed.
Yeah, this show is over now. It's finished airing in Japan, but the only group that was subbing it, all their members had a bunch of personal shit going on until just this week. So hopefully we'll be able to cover it regularly again, but we're entirely beholden to whatever is going on in those people's lives. And I'm not going to jump down their throat because I want to talk about this on my podcast and I don't speak Japanese. I'm just grateful we finally have another episode to talk about because this one was pretty good.
Yeah, it felt like, I mean, like, I know it wasn't supposed to be, but it felt like going back to a nice blanket for us, like, Yanks, who, like, had to wait for the show to get subbed.
Yeah, and it did take me a minute to realize because I felt like, oh man, they're running through stuff real quick and just expecting you to be on it, and then I'm like, wait, this is the 5th episode of the show. They finished setting everything up. Now we're just in the setting telling stories.
Yeah. So that hiatus, unintentional hiatus brain did some stuff to us, but hey, it's still a really fun episode. It's an Ultraman focused episode, and Ultraman's a great character. I really love his little.
The original Dogengers main character?
No, okay, here's the funny thing. He is technically dead for most of season 1, but he doesn't really become a reoccurring character until season 2.
Oh, okay.
He just gives the rookie his powers. Rookie's the green version of Ultraman.
Okay, I got like a real Rider 1 vibe from him in this.
Well, I mean, he kind of is a Rider 1, but just in Dogengers, Rider 2 is the protagonist, for lack of a better word.
Oh, so it's like Kamen Rider then.
Yeah. You know what I mean. But yeah, it was really fun seeing Ultraman like kind of helping the community again, because that's like the great thing about Dogengers, they're really community focused. Also, I did not. This is the first time seeing what's his name, the guy's friend, the big red guy, who's like eating with his friends.
Mech. I think they called him. They called him Mech or EX or something like that.
Yeah, Mech or EX. I'll just call him EX. I've Google. Let me Google like.
Yeah.
But
I was like, oh, there's another Sentai team in the show. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of Sentai teams and local heroes stuff. So.
I would expect so. It's like your choices are: you can be a Sentai team, you can be an Ultraman knockoff, you can be a Kamen Rider knockoff, or you can be a Metal Hero. What do you want to do?
Yeah, they still get to be creative in those limits.
Yeah.
EX, I'll just go call him EX. But yeah, it was really fun seeing his team. I thought voice lugger instead of freaking Sentai, because there's 4 of them, and like the red one is kind of like a big one kind of guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that though. Like, and I thought that was a really fun method of teleportation and getting around the fact that like all these people don't actually live in one city. And how are you going to plot contrive them to be into the same place per episodes? And it's like, well, we have teleporters now. It's fine.
Yeah, it's really cute. And yeah, just generally saw that. Also, that the fact that they're just the jail's just gonna keep filling up with villains who are just vibing. That's funny.
Seeing a bunch of friggin' tokusatsu villains just playing Go Fish was surprisingly entertaining and aesthetic.
Well, that's just Dogengers in a nutshell. It's surprisingly entertaining in the mundane.
Yeah, it was cool seeing I forget the name of Kamen Rider Oja's actor's character in this show, but him and Shiraishi having like a more mutually respective relationship in this episode, because it's like every episode up until now was us getting to that, and now we finally arrived at it and we get to see like their true dynamic, and I really like it. It works well.
Okay, his name is EX, the big guy. I was
overthinking. You were saying Oja was EX for a second there.
No, Oja's not EX. Yeah. But like, yeah. I don't even know his name, so I'll just call him Oja. But yeah, good Dogengers episode. Glad to have the show back. I especially love the little ending, because there's little ending tag jokes at the end. Where it's like, they said Ultraman was moved to tears when recapping the episode to his friends.
Oh yeah, the whole bit with the old man was so good.
Yeah.
That reminds me of like some of my favorite bits of Gokaiger, where like civilians show up and inspire the Gokaigers or returning Sentai members.
Yeah, it's good shit. As for not good shit, oh my god. It's over. It's at least over. Pink Tokusatsu Creation Josiris, episode 12, finale. The regrettable courage. I hate this show.
More like G-sit-rees, am I right?
More like jizz.
More like G-shit-rees, am I right?
More like jizz.
Wouldn't it be amazing if just the next 5 minutes of the podcast was us doing that?
Yeah. All right.
No, this is... They really try so hard to do a lot of legwork in this episode to make you understand what the show was supposed to be and get you invested in these characters real bad before they have a big emotional moment with them. And it all just falls flat because it's so forced at the last second. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I understand what was going on in the show the whole time now, and I'm happy for that. But I'm happy because now I can definitively say, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, they horribly executed this plot.
I still don't know what happens in this show. I still don't know what's going on. I think I understand less what's going on, honestly.
Main character lady said something that she didn't realize was really hurtful to a friend of hers. Her friend killed herself, and she felt so bad about it that she started a end of the world thing, and then Gisiri stepped in to take them on a multiversal adventure for her to connect with various emotions and power him up so he could stop the end of the world.
That's stupid!
Yeah.
That's stupid as hell!
Yeah.
This is like edgelord wannabe nonsense.
Yeah. And like, fucking Masahiro anyway has like a really emotional death scene in this, except he doesn't have any emotion at all in the scene.
It's like we have the Kivala scene at home. Kivala from Decade final chapter. Legit, all the show reminds me of is the worst parts of Decade with none of the good parts.
Yeah, effects and all, because like I thought the stab a person through the chest with a sword effect an episode or two ago was bad. There's a shot where she literally just shoves the sword off to his side. There's a plug-in blood effect, and then they cut to another shot where you can clearly see his entire midsection, and there's just no sword there.
Damn, I don't like the why.
More like G-shit-rees, am I right?
Yeah, more like jizz. I know we keep saying that, but legit.
If you like this show, you're a weirdo. Don't talk to me.
Legit, I haven't seen any people like talk about it other than it looks cool.
People
like,
are always positive in the comments section, though, and it always has like a ton of likes.
Yeah.
Like, there must just be a shit ton of like blindly loyal to Masahiro Inoue Kamen Rider fans in Japan or something.
Or just people just, hey, it's tokusatsu. I don't really care about the story. I just want to see cool suits fight. Which is
it's tokusatsu that's not called Kamen Rider, so that must mean it's good, right?
I don't know. I'll make a video about this eventually, especially now that I understand what it was going for.
Yeah, there's literally a whole scene where he explains that to her, and then he goes, "Now kill me."
I still couldn't understand it. I still couldn't understand it because they're just so weird about explaining.
I was literally sitting here at my computer chair watching this scene, and I go like, "Oh, that's what building Exodia was supposed to be? That fucking sucks. That's so stupid."
About good shows now.
More like G-shit-rees, am I right?
Yeah. Ultraman Blazer, episode 3. The name is Earth-Garon. I love this episode.
This episode was really friggin' solid. I feel like they might have gone a bit long on the mech launch sequence, but that's like my only complaint. Everything else was really fun and interesting character exploration. And like for that complaint of, oh, they went a little long on the mech launch sequence, I get that it's the first time. It's gonna be cut down all the other times we see it.
It's also just a beautiful sequence.
It looked really good.
Yeah. Still continuing the high quality of visuals that Blazar's been keeping up, and just the great character dynamics. We also figured out, oh yeah, Blazer is connected from the incident to 3 years ago.
Yeah. And also they give us our first hints at Gento being a family man.
Yeah, although they don't show him being, like, they don't show the family. Like, people are suspecting, are they gonna punish this man?
I hope this man is not punished.
Yeah.
Also, Emmy is just, like, really proving herself. She's getting a Focus episode next week, but, like, over the last couple episodes, she has really ingratiated herself as just, like, a little ball of joy and, like, one of the best characters on the show.
Her dub actress is doing a great job, like...
Yeah, that's the other thing, is I had time to watch the dub this week, and, like, the dub is really growing on me.
Yeah.
And so is the intro. Like, I didn't mean to sound so harsh about the intro last week, and I realized that listening back while I was editing that I had been. Like the more we go along, this theme song, I am really getting into it, and it was
Yeah.
actually stuck in my head for a couple of days this week. And it's got some banger lyrics. It's just I also did that thing we discussed. I think we discussed in the last episode about like I wasn't super familiar with the Ultraman intros, so I needed to watch a compilation of them. I did do that this week, and I can definitively say like, yeah, this is a really good intro for Ultraman. It's just like there's a real dichotomy of and I'm saying this with kindness. A lot of the Ultraman intros are kind of boring. It wasn't until X that they started getting really visually dynamic and interesting. There's good songs. I love Ultraman 80's theme, and Ultraman Max's theme, but those intros, like a lot of the Showa ones, are just drawings, and then the
Higa.
Tiga is just kind of like, look at all these expensive miniatures we made, and so are the other ones from that era. But once you start getting into the new generation era, it starts getting really visually robust, and I think. Like, I remember being really impressed with Zet's intro back when that was first coming out, because that was my first Ultraman. Like I've always been like, oh, Kamen Rider has amazing intros. It's one of the best intro shows out there. But Ultraman New Generation kind of steps it up for me. I think I had gotten through the course of Zet, Trigger, Decker kind of desensitized to that. Because watching the intro again for this week's episode, I was like, oh no, there's some brilliant editing in this. Like that opening bit where everybody's like turning to look at the camera, that's fucking awesome. The way the step forward of the team at the end, that's like perfectly timed to a beat in the music, and the like you said, I just hadn't really taken time to look at it and appreciate it. The sequence of showing all the monsters for social media is pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's so excited. Yeah, you're getting it now. You're getting it.
Yeah, I think it's just this show took a minute to warm up on me. Like the first episode was really good, but the first episode was also completely different from the following two. And now I'm starting to get used to what the show actually is, which is it's just a really solid Ultraman show.
Yeah, it's like it's hitting all the right beats, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. And we're getting actual character focus episodes. I know that's normal, but covering Trigger on this podcast made me like, are there actually going to be character focus episodes in this one? But no, there are. Don't worry.
Well, remember, Trigger only like focused on its main three, and then Decker like spread out. There were no like outright focus episodes for characters outside the main three, but they got stuff to do, and you got to know them.
Yeah,
I will be very interested to see if we get that again here, or if like every member of the team gets a focus episode, because I feel like they kind of set that up with how episode 2 was formatted.
Yeah, I think there will be every member, especially because it's a much smaller cast than both and Decker. It's just like 4 people on the defense team, and then you got the commander guy who like is kind of already made up his presence known.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Blazar is really good so far. Also, Super Raya retweeted NASA, lol.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happened this week. The Blazar thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to superhero time, as we got to Kamen Rider Geats, episode 45, Genesis 7? 8? Genesis 7, I think.
I think so.
Where their wishes lead to. I'm very interested to hear Vak's thoughts on this episode, given a certain similarity to a certain other show.
I'm trying to think what show you're talking about.
Gaim.
Oh yeah, this did have some Gaim vibes to it. I was thinking that during the, and I mean like everybody was thinking that as soon as people started getting white wigs. But like I'm trying to remember, because it's like I watched the episode and I was just kind of trying to get through it so we could do the podcast. It's one of those. I don't have thought. Well, you talk about it for a minute, and I'll try and like formulate thoughts for a second here, damn it.
Zapon's reintroduction was kind of superfluous, but I like it anyway because he's like it proves a point of like like bastards, and then they kind of Neon and the others show him up with.
I
Like,
thought it was a good use of a character in like just holding up another mirror to K-Watt and being like, look, this is what you're starting to become. Do you really want to do this?
yeah,
And then also like extending an olive branch to that character and saying like, look, you're not bad at your core. You've just lost your way because a bad thing happened to you. I'm sure even you could have a world where you're happy with people.
yeah, and the shonen fight, like this is real shonen between like Geats and Tycoon.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
Kamen Rider Geats will feature heated drama between men.
Yeah, it was a really good fight, and then like Kawa just being like, "No, Ace, I don't want to do it." Then Ace is like, "Well, screw you!" Recreates the world again.
Yeah, I like how it's very much like, dude, I am trying to make a world where everyone can be happy. You don't think that involves you somehow? Like, come on. Like, I
Yeah,
like that it's more of like a, hey, you just didn't think about it enough, and not, I'm trying to brute force you into agreeing with me, or I'm just trying to stop you. Like, Ace is very consistent throughout this whole arc of like, Tycoon will come around. We need to deal with these other things, and eventually he'll see the light.
yeah. I'm just curious of like when he's now going on the whole godhood shit. Is like, is that gonna be like the whole tent pole for the final arc? Where it's
I,
just like we have to like keep Geats, we have to tower defense Geats before like so he can recreate everything. Or, I don't know.
it very well might be. And that's the other thing is like I was a little weirded out by sort of the framing of this episode, I will say, cuz like it begins with bringing in a bunch of new spectators and I'm like, what are you doing introducing 4 new characters in like the last 5 or 6 episodes? And also I thought we were done with this plot device now. I thought it was strictly it was Ace and Pals versus the establishment of the Desire Grand Prix.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I guess because it's like Dapon is. I don't know. I've just felt like, well, we want to give Dapon more buckles. Let's have a cool
Mhm.
visual to give him buckles. I don't know.
Yeah, but that also led to another complaint I had with the episode is Dalpon has never fucking seen the beat buckle before, but he instantly knows how to use it and is able to like go toe to toe with Neon, who has the fantasy buckle, which is supposed to be way powerful than like the buckles from back when beat was introduced.
Power scaling. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah, like I don't normally get upset about power scaling, but that was a moment of like, hey, come on, you're just blatantly ignoring shit in order to have this guy be here.
Yeah, it's weird. It really just felt like, well, people want to see the other supporters, the other characters come back. Frick it. Let's also bring back old elements that we kind of outgrown.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just a little awkward.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can understand it from like a marketing and from a business and like kind of like spectator perspective, for lack of hey, it's a cheeky.
Mhm.
But like also,
So, over under. You think Wynn's dead?
Wynn's not dead. Wait, did Wynn die?
Well, he like has he. It's a very classic Japanese self-sacrifice trope of he goes in and he holds off the guy just long enough for Surumi to get away,
Oh yeah,
and then
Wynn's not dead.
he gets tossed to the floor. The guy's like, "Oh, I guess I have more garbage to take out," and then he just smiles at him, and then off screen he hits him with the club, and then you see a wide shot of like Wynn unconscious.
I don't think he's dead. I just think, yeah, he'll probably be back, and we still have him to see in the movie. Like, even if he
Fair
is
enough.
dead,
Also,
we're kind of
the characters were in here randomly, just being Statler and Waldorf.
yeah. Oh man, I wish they had their personalities of Statler and Waldorf and just be like, oh, like they just kind of like make fun of Geats.
Yeah.
But that's a bit too much.
I mean, that's kind of what they're doing. They're just standing there going, they're just on a balcony watching the big fight, going like, these fuckers don't know what's coming. They don't know
Yeah.
there's a movie.
Yeah, which is, I wonder if that will be plot relevant. Probably not, because people always overblown plot relevance in movies.
Oh my god!
Like,
I just realized I have to make a
what?
meme edit tonight. I'm gonna put the movie characters in that party meme, and they're going and like all the other writers are all the other party people, and they don't know there's a movie coming.
That could be funny. Yeah, Geats was solid this week. It's more of honestly, I'm just more of like what's happening next week, given like Ace is just screw you all or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he went. He didn't go full Coda because like he got the Coda hair. I'm almost certain that's the same wig.
Yeah.
And he said he's gonna remake the world, but I don't think he's gonna obfuscate any shit because things don't look crazy different next week. It's just the main thing they're advertising next week is the final confrontation between Michinaga and Baraba, which I thought she was dead last week. So okay.
Yeah, it's like I guess they're extending her character because like we gotta have Michinaga. Will Michinaga finally get that new rumored form this week or next week?
I don't know. The episode's called Farewell Michinaga, so will it be like a Barai dies, or will it be like the Zyuohger's final day?
We'll see. Speaking of Sentai, Osama Sentai King-Ohger, episode 21, Marching the Path of Rule. This is a clip show, but it's a really good clip show.
It's an okay clip show. There's a few
like
really good moments in it.
I like the framing device of one of Racules' former like subordinates be like, I would need to get a job, and he just keeps asking the other kingdoms, and that's how you get the clips.
I almost wonder, did anybody tell him that Racules got deposed? Because, like, does he think Gira's gonna kill his ass? Gira's not that kind of guy.
No.
Like, but maybe it was cool seeing that actor in different funny outfits. Hello?
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry, just texting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was fun seeing that actor in different funny outfits and just being reminded, like, no, he's a decent guy. He just had a shitty boss, and he didn't want to lose his job.
Yeah, and it's also just really cool when Gira gets his big speechify moment at the end of the episode where, like, he helps the subordinate, helps the kid. That was really cool.
In a single episode, that guy went from being, like, a shitter who was trying to do good to where he could to being, like, on the level of all the other retainers for all the other kings of like, no, this is a supporting character I want to see pop up and have little bits here and again because him and Gira work surprisingly well together.
Yeah. I hope he gets some more bits.
That being said, all the contests were like you could cut out these scenes and you would lose nothing. I also didn't really care for the alternate intro.
The alternate intro, I think, was like a movie promo, I think.
Was it? I didn't see like any movie shit in there.
Well, because the Geats was there.
Geats, it's superhero time.
Yeah. Well, it's King-Ohger's like the second show in superhero time. So I'm like, wait, we just watched Geats, huh? Like,
yeah. It wasn't the suit; it was a CGI Geats that they cloned like a bajillion times.
Yeah, that part was really funny.
Yeah, like, did that? I was like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, but like pretty solid, like transitionary King-Ohger. I'm very excited to see what happens next, especially because we're already getting into the final mech. So maybe that's why they're trying to bring in Kyoryuger elements because we already like kind of apexing with the King-Ohger toys. Freaking remake toys from the anniversary show.
Also, that reminds me, new rumors just came out today about that. Of like, currently, it's being expected that Daigo will be appearing in all the September episodes, but the new Kyoryujin is actually going to release in October, and it's going to be the most expensive King-Ohger toy yet.
Kyoryujin?
Yeah, they're remaking Kyoryujin.
So are they gonna like premium Bandai that shit? I don't know.
I have no idea. Because I think I saw a price, but it was in yen, so of course it didn't stick in my head.
Yeah, you said it was gonna be the most expensive, so I'm like, premium Bandai, or like, are they gonna include the other dinosaurs? I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know how much Caucasus Castle costs, and I think it's probably gonna be more expensive than King-Ohger, so who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of King-Ohger and mechs, Secrets of King Racules. Yeah, Secrets of King Racules episode 3.
What was the point of this show?
There was no secrets revealed.
Nope, it is like I think the secrets are supposed to be that like he's trying to figure out what all the mural says long before the other characters actually did in the show.
It's not much of a secret.
Because they confirm at the end of this episode that all of these episodes, Secrets of King Hercules, were supposed to take place between episodes 2 and 3, which feels really weird, but okay.
I thought this was a prequel, not a mid-quel.
Yeah. It is. I don't know.
It just feels like content to just like side content for the sake of having side content and to get more fight scenes of the Kuwagata suit.
Yeah, and also probably like I'm guessing. I feel like around the time King-Ohger was announced, I saw something that was like the guy who plays Hercules is a fairly big name in Japan right now. So maybe they were like, we paid for this actor. He's kind of expensive. We might as well use him in something.
Yeah, but the writers just didn't have an idea of just like, freaking just have fights. I still enjoyed parts of it. I just felt like kind of superfluous in the grand scheme of
There's
things.
one scene in this episode that I actually did really like when they're in the lab going over the evidence again,
Yeah.
and the one retainer guy is being all accusatory to the other scientist, and Hercules just goes, "You had access to the lab too. You could have very well done it." And there's like a beat, and he goes, "Oh, you're joking. Very good, sir." And it's like, oh, it's really good that that episode came out just now, because it's very clear there was a moment where that Bugnarok was like, "Oh shit, did I just get found out?"
Yeah, it's like they don't have the time the releases of these episodes say.
But
Yeah,
that's like the most I've enjoyed this show so far, I gotta admit.
yeah, it's the definition of side content for the sake of side content. If you want to watch it, sure, but like it's not required at all.
It is a pure 5 out of 10. It's fine, it exists, it's there. Nothing about it really annoys me, but nothing about it enthuses me either.
Yeah. Want to talk about you? Do you want to start with old stuff and toys?
Yeah, so I didn't have time to watch any 1971 this week. I apologize, but I do have something I forgot to talk about last week because I was so busy being annoyed about the unpleasantness. Because I got SH Figuarts Senchoku Seiho Gokai Red. I actually had it for a couple of weeks. I just got around to opening it last week. And yeah, it's really dang good. It is interesting though, because like the figure, I think they went a little too hard on the sculpted wrinkles because it doesn't look great in hand. Like the torso and the arms kind of look like a bit of a visual mess. But then when you get it in a good pose and you photograph it, it looks really pretty. Like it's a much more photogenic figure than it is a look good on your shelf figure, I think. And I know that's a weird distinction for some people, but it's just something I noticed while I was taking some early pictures with it. And it does pose extremely well. Like it can do the crossed arms pose without an entirely alternate set of arms like the original had. I got it in quite a few poses from photo reference on Google Images, and they all looked almost exactly the same except for like a few bits of suit that are off because it's a plastic toy and not a cloth bodysuit over an articulated body. The Ranger keys it comes with, my God, those things are tiny. Like those are so tiny I feel like I could accidentally inhale them. So I used them for a couple of quick photos and then I put them in a baggie, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna mess with them again. It'll depend on like what I want to do for figure photography in the future. Because I do plan, I've already taken a lot of photos of this thing, and you'll be seeing them on my Instagram at _Vacuuminator in the not too distant future. But I'm probably gonna take a lot more because I just took photos of like it by itself. I have like a lot of team up and battle poses planned that I want to try. But for the $100 plus shipping I paid for it, I am very satisfied with this. I feel like it is just good enough to justify that price tag for somebody who is as big a Gokaiger fan as I am. If you're not a massive Gokaiger fan, you just want good toys, or like you're just kind of a casual Gokaiger fan, or you're wondering if you need to get it to replace your original Gokai Red, I'd say honestly, it is not worth spending that much money on this. See if you could maybe get it on a sale or something at some point. But if you can afford it and it's something you really want, like I did, I would say it's worth the price of admission, and it's a very good toy. It does carry over the big bit of praise I had for SH Figuarts Zenkaiser of they seem to have fixed the hand swap tolerance issue with Figuarts now, which I am extremely happy with because that used to be one of my biggest complaints about them, like I talked about back when I was discussing my Figuarts Zet original on this show. So yeah, Gokai Red, Shinshoku Seiho gets a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, I watched too much shit. I guess we'll start with like the rewatch of. I rewatched Shin Kamen Rider. It's still great, probably even better. Not really much difference between that and the theatrical release. Just like same subs, same kind of like good movie.
Yeah.
Don't really like it.
That does remind me though. I was seeing on Twitter. I don't know if this will be like helpful information to any of our listeners, but people have been having a lot of issues with the Cleopatra release video.
Shin Ultraman.
Yeah, of Shin Ultraman. Like apparently the subs were wrong on the first run of it, and then somebody got a replacement from them, and there's like weird video encoding issues now. So
Yeah, I'm not picking that up like the Cleopatra release. I hope they do a redo, like Mill Creek or someone does a redo. Because
yeah.
I don't want to pick that up now because of thing. I'll just stick to
Also, I hope Shout Factory gets Shin Kamen Rider.
Yeah. We'll see. Like, what I'm gonna do about Shin Ultraman, I'm good. Like, the digital version has the best subs. Like, if you watch it on like Vudu or YouTube and you just rent it, that has the best subs, which is kind of crazy and weird, and I don't like it. But like, frick it, we ball. You know. But hey, Shin Kamen Rider is good. Shin Ultraman is good. If you can watch those movies in the best way, go watch them. I love them a lot. I know like they're not for everyone, but hey, I like them a lot. I know I'm seeing some weird ass takes on Shin Kamen Rider that I kind of want to debunk. But
I personally think Anno's Shin trilogy is like some of the best tokusatsu that's ever been made.
Yeah. I've just been seeing some weird ass like just wannabe smart takes on the movie, and I just don't agree with any of them. I'm sorry. Like, well, I love this. You know.
Yeah, I do too. I'm looking forward to rewatching it, and actually, I'm thinking now that we have good, high quality ways to get all three of them, I'm probably going to try and do a triple feature at some point before the end of the year. And if I can pull that off, well, you might see some content.
Yeah, hey, just saying it. Get us in on that. Get the Modular boys in on the triple feature.
Do you want that to be my last AF request of the year? Watch all three of these movies?
Well, like, I was just thinking, just like, we watch them together in a voice call.
Oh, yeah, that could be fun. I don't know if I could wrangle Boingo and Snowcomb for a full night like that, though. We'll have to see.
We'll see.
But, yeah, Shin's good. I'm glad you enjoyed your rewatch of it, man.
Yeah, I got some really nice, high-quality screen caps, which is what I was most excited for in the rewatch, because it's a very pretty movie with a lot of good shots.
Remember back when it first came out, I told you, when I was in the theater with Toku Chris, or I guess Geek with Chris now, there was literally a moment where I turned to him and I was like, dude, every other shot in this movie is like a perfect desktop background. And he was like, I know!
Yeah. Speaking of good shows and good tokusatsu, I finished the Tiga Dyna Gaia trilogy because I'm insane. I was already halfway through Dyna by the time the last episode came out, so I finished that, and I also watched Gaia. Videos on them soon. There's a Tiga video on my channel right now, so I already have the Dyna script written. I still gotta write the Gaia script, so I'm gonna leave my thoughts on the show. You probably, if you know, follow me on Twitter or Letterboxd, you already know my thoughts on Dyna and Gaia. But I'm just gonna talk about the movie that kind of makes the TGG trilogy what it is. Battle in Hyperspace. So this is written by Keiji Hasegawa, and it's a really funny concept because the plot of Battle in Hyperspace is a kid who really likes Ultraman Gaia finds a wishing stone, and then he wishes Gamu and everything was real, but bullies get their hands on it, and then kaijus happen, and then they have to summon Tiga and Dyna to help fight the kaijus. Now, only
That's adorable.
It's very adorable. It's one of the best tie-in movies for a tokusatsu I've seen. I'm oversimplifying it. There's a lot of great like character bits from the kid. It's very standalone. So if you just want to watch Battle in Hyperspace, go ahead. It's very like it doesn't really tie in with the Gaia storyline. It's just here's a little fun story to kind of combine the last three Ultraman. You know, which probably is like the only way you could connect Tiga, Dyna to Gaia. Because Gaia's in its own continuity. Dyna's a direct sequel to Tiga, but Gaia you could just watch on your own.
That's cool.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a little spoiler. Gaia's one of my favorite Ultraman now. It's really good. It's really good. I can't wait to gush about it on video.
It's up there with Nexus and Rube.
Yeah, very much. It's in my top 3 now. Yeah, like Rube, Nexus, and Gaia. Those are my 3 faves.
Nice.
And I'm really tempted to buy the DVD set now because it's like $8 right now, and like I gotta like I want to like that's. A
I mean,
really
if
good
you
deal.
have that money to spare, that's a really good deal
$8
for any DVD set.
Yeah, I should hop on that, but you can also hop on my YouTube channel because we're at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah, it's Buster Corp. I do videos on whatever I'm feeling like it. You guys see a lot of Ultraman videos because I feel like it. We got an Ultraman Tiga review up there. We got videos on Kamen Rider and all sorts of fun stuff. Pikmin, been playing Pikmin 4, and you could see how much I'm gushing about Pikmin 4 on Twitter, but I'm gonna be on there as long until the site is functioning. But
I think at this point, you and I are like, we're here until either Blue Sky comes and gets us, or the site just implodes.
We are both on the waiting list for Blue Sky now. I had to bunch. So yeah, we're on Twitter. I'm at BusterBoy3. If you're wondering why my Kingdom Hearts, I have a Kingdom Hearts profile pic. Don't ask him.
Go watch a 6-hour lore video.
Yeah, that too. Or just watch a 6-hour Vacuuminator video.
There isn't one yet, but you can watch a 4-hour one that exists. Hey, I'm the Vacuuminator, everybody. I make YouTube videos, and sometimes they're things I'm proud of. You can find them on YouTube at the Vacuuminator. Should have a new video coming out in the next couple of days. The final installment of my big, slightly derailed, but I'm still somewhat happy of how it's turned out Freedom Month event. It's not going to be a tokusatsu thing, but it will be something that's very near and dear to my heart. And you can check that out and plenty of other videos I've made about tokusatsu and other things. You can also watch clips of my older videos on TikTok. That's at @the_Vacuuminator. As I mentioned earlier, I do daily action figure photography on Instagram. That's at @the_Vacuuminator. And I have a Twitter for now and a Tumblr where all my content tends to get aggregated. That's at the Vacuuminator and thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. But folks, that's it for this week in Tokusatsu. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here next week for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.